I've had about 10 years or more actually worth of anxiety, and it sucks. It really sucks. On my channel, I talk a lot about different strategies that I've utilized and that I utilize with my clients on how to naturally reduce and get rid of your anxiety. One of them I want to talk about today is hemp oil, or CBD. And it's something that I've been using for about a year. Today, I'm going to be sharing my whole experience with CBD/hemp oil over the past year. So you know what to expect and you can decide if you want to use it for your anxiety too. My name's Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with a very extensive history of anxiety. I say it in a laughing manner right now, like I'm smiling while talking about it, but it's actually been pretty debilitating over the past more than 10 years at this point now. And honestly, I think I've always suffered from some sort of anxiety. And I don't like to say I'm an anxious person because as I've known now, I'm able to successfully reduce it and even some days totally get rid of it. But rather, I have experienced anxiety from a really young age. And unfortunately, I think it's something that we're dealing with more and more often now, which I'm going to be coming out with a video soon on that perfect storm, on how it's not just one thing that causes anxiety and how we aren't just born anxious, but there are ways to actually reduce it and there are things that are causing it. But for right now, I'm sharing my whole experience for the past year with just CBD oil, period. Okay, so basically what CBD/hemp oil does is it works on decreasing your sympathetic response. So in our body, we have these two responses. It's either parasympathetic, which is that rest and restore type of mode, and then there's sympathetic, and that's like fight or flight mode. And something that I think people don't realize about fight or flight mode is that you don't necessarily have to be emotionally stressed in order to be in that fight or flight mode. Like most people will be like, oh no, like I'm good. I'm not stressed or I'm not experiencing stress. Okay, but there's still chemical and physical stressors. So what about too much exercise or too little sleep or maybe pollution or toxins in your environment? There's a lot of things that cause our body to be in a stress state. Even eating too often, which I talk about with this video. And most people, due to our environment, our food choices, all of these factors tend to be stuck in this sympathetic state, which means that you're in fight or flight mode. So what happens when you're in this sympathetic state, it makes it so that your body actually shuts off blood flow to your GI tract and your fertility organs and instead shuttles it to your muscles and your brain and your heart, because those are what your body thinks it needs to get out of like that fast, quick, scary situation. And that's what results in us feeling anxious. So in order to truly heal, you need to switch your body from that sympathetic mode and get it into parasympathetic rest and restore mode. That'll help to shuttle that blood flow back to your GI tract, back to your fertility organs. In fact, if you do suffer from any issues with your GI tract or even your fertility organs, then this is something you definitely need to be listening to. So that's why I tried hemp oil. I did a lot of things in the past year to really help with decreasing my anxiety. Not saying this is a cure-all, but I do want to share my experience with hemp oil for the past year. And if you're interested in the other things that I did in addition to hemp oil to help heal my anxiety, just let me know in the comments below and I'll make a video about that. So like I said, I made a lot of changes progressively over time. One of them being switching from walking to running, which I talk about in this video. And this was just one of the changes I made. So first thing you need to know, CBD oil or hemp oil is not going to get you high. Unless you're using one with a THC base, you're not going to get high with hemp oil. And I know that's a concern for a lot of people, but don't worry about it with it. Just make sure that you're getting it from a reputable source. This is the brand I use. You can see it. And there are a lot of bad products out there. It is a booming industry. I believe I just read a stat that it's a $1 billion industry right now, and it's projected to be like a $25 billion industry by 2022. That just shows you how many of us are stressed out. The way that you use hemp oil, or at least this specific one, because there are different types that you can use, it's a pump. So it's like a spray bottle. So the serving size is 4 pumps. Now I've been using this, for about a year. No, longer than that. Been about a year and a half actually. Anyway, so about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years ago, can't really quite remember. My anxiety was so bad. I was in a bad place. I was in a very stressful work environment. I was not sleeping. I was working out too much. There's so many factors going on that just made me an anxious wreck. My self-esteem was really low. My confidence was really low. I always was feeling bloated from that lack of blood flow that was going to my GI tract. I just wasn't feeling good. It was terrible. It was awful. I needed to do something about it. And that's when I was making all those other changes as well. And that's also when I introduced hemp oil. So at that time, I was using a lot more than the recommended dosage for hemp oil because I was so stressed that I needed something to help me bring myself back to that parasympathetic state right then, but also know this is not to be used as a crutch. This isn't a cure-all, it's just something that's helpful. But anyway, I was using 4 pumps in the morning and either 2 or 3 pumps at night, depending on how stressed I was that night, which is a lot. And then I would even sometimes use it in the middle of the day if I was just like freaking out. And it did help. And here's the thing that I want people to know. It's not that it's like a Xanax or something. Not that I've ever actually taken them, so I don't really know what it feels like, but from what I understand, medications for anxiety will make it so that it dulls your responses. This doesn't dull your response. You're still very sharp mentally. What it does is it helps to bring you basically from up here on your sympathetic mode to just a little lower. And that makes it so that your body is able to actually handle stressors better, instead of like, you know, you come across something that like your boss yells at you about some project that you did wrong or something, I don't know. And instead of just reacting and responding and freaking out, you're able to handle that stress a lot better. And that's really beneficial for anxiety. So that's what I was doing. And in the beginning I was using a lot more, and it was helping for that time being. But I was also working on a lot of other factors to help me to heal my anxiety. Like I said, walking, not over exercising, changing up my diet, all of these things that really helped all together to heal my anxiety. Because there isn't just one thing that heals anxiety. You need all of these factors. But this really helps in the process. Showed you like the back part. This really helps in the process. There. So then as I was working on myself, after I'd quit running cold turkey for like 6 months and was doing a lot of walking instead, after I made a lot of changes in my life that just made me happier in general, my anxiety eventually got a lot lower. Now, a year or a year and a half later, I'm only using this at night, and I'm only using 2 pumps at night. So my sympathetic state is a lot lower now from all these changes I've made. And this is actually something that I work with a lot of my clients on, is having these steps to naturally heal your anxiety. And you can check out one of my client stories right here about that. But it's awesome because now I'm just down to 2. I feel a lot better. I don't have to rely on this really to feel good. And I just use it for the positive benefits now that come with CBD oil. And there are a lot of benefits from CBDs, which, mind you, there's actually a lot of food that has CBD as well. You don't necessarily need to have CBD oil. There are a lot of foods too, but you can get the oil as well if you want to supplement, or if you do suffer from anxiety and you're working on yourself in the process. Now, there's 2 things that I've learned from this that I want to make sure that you know. First of all, don't use this as a crutch. Like I said, you're not going to heal your anxiety with just CBD. This will help, but you're not going to heal your anxiety unless you do everything else too. And number 2 is, if you are looking for the benefits, make sure that you're using it daily. It's not like, you know, an aspirin or a medication where you just pop a pill and it has immediate effects. This should be seen more as a supplement where you get the benefits from daily usage rather than just using it whenever you feel like it. Now, one question I get is, will I ever stop using it? I'm not really sure, but for right now, I'm going to continue using it because it does have a lot of benefits. Since we do live in such an environment where we are constantly stimulated, we're constantly in this fight or flight mode, I see a lot of benefit of having CBD oil, as well as, you know, along with everything else that helps bring us back to parasympathetic state, like meditation and getting great sleep and being with loved ones. All of these things together are really helpful for our health and our mental state too. And there's no science to back this up yet, but I'm speculating that this also could help some people with fertility issues, because remember, I mentioned when you're in that sympathetic fight or flight mode, your body shuts off blood flow from your GI tract and your fertility organs. So it's not getting the nutrients it needs in order to thrive and in order to support having a child. So by switching your body from that sympathetic to parasympathetic, so from the fight or flight to the rest and repair, that could help with fertility issues too. No science on that yet, but I'm speculating. Okay, guys, if you want to check out more about my anti-anxiety morning routine and something I do every day to prevent anxiety, recommend you check out this video. Also, if you love the science-backed information on how to heal your body naturally, make sure you subscribe here. Come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Bye. Later. And I'm gonna turn this off.